build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance to spit in his eye. Well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I dry my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Longbangers. This is episode 133. I'm Matty, joined tonight by Colin and Jamie. Colin, how are you doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks. I'm just recovering from watching the House of Commons for 3:30 this afternoon. Do you see any of that? Do we talk about that rather than the film?
It might be the better option. I only saw a wee bit of a right busy day at work, so I kind of caught a wee bit in the BBC News. Saw Keir Starmer kind of laying into Boris Johnson and him just being a cunt after it.
Theresa May got the big knife out and then Blackford walked out. So,
because he called him a liar, didn't he? I saw that.
A liar when they retract it.
Said he was misleading the House.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Can't tell the truth in the House of Commons or something they said, so
Aye.
Made him walk out.
It's big nonsense, isn't it? Jamie, how are you doing?
Doing all right. I'm doing fine. Nervous about the morning, to be honest. I'm sure we'll get into that. But I'm doing brand new. Good weekend. I was out at a 30th on Saturday, and I found out that drinking shots is a young man's game.
What were you on?
I don't know. Just if it came a turn, somebody was giving me a shot, and I was like my wife said to me, she says, honestly, you should have seen the Nicky try to get you up the road. I was like, how did we get up the road?
Must have been a nephew or something. Is that you?
It's just, I'm not. It's my pal's weeest brother. His wife's 30, so you're right. I mean,
it's weird.
I went for pints with Josh the other weekend, and he said him and his pals do shots of vodka, like neat vodka, and I was like, who does that? Like, you'd have a vodka and Coke or whatever.
Russians.
Russians do it. Or do you mind? You get the vodka bars that used to have? I think if they're still there. Was it Bar Coal or something like that? That was sort of opposite the Jekyll and Hyde and that. Frankenstein's it was when it was up there. The first time I went to a vodka bar, I was in Manchester, and it was when I was doing for my McDonald's manager's training, and we'd gone into this vodka bar, and they had to be menus out, and it was like red cola vodka, they had potato vodka, it was called Spudka. So I was like, have one of them. And to be fair, we were just handing shots of that. So the flavour stuff I could get, but no, just like
It's fine if it's been in the freezer and it sort of doesn't solidify, but it just makes it a thicker substance, and it doesn't taste as bad. It's no got that thing.
And there's no grants or something like that. Or blends.
But you're doing the tequilas or something like that. If you had the shots, say like that, you could aftershocks. I mean,
they were out on show on Saturday. The aftershocks, remember that book?
What was it? You had the red and the blue one, eh? The aftershocks.
There was a black one as well.
Was there?
Aye.
I remember the red one.
Red and blue were the first two that come out. I'm sure there's an orange one, I know. Later on.
We'll need to have a Longbangers night and just get on the shots out of the doors and see who's
from Montgomery halfway through.
Right, well, forgot the right. So we'll quickly talk about, or maybe know that quickly, talk about the Livingston game on Saturday, which was pretty horrendous. It's transfer deadline day, so we'll have a wee quick review of our transfer business thus far. Kind of got our phone beside us as we record in case there's any late news coming through. We're not going to be on till midnight. You got the TV on, watching Neighbours.
Now we're midnight. It's 11 o'clock in England. That's just saying, going along there. So
right.
Don't know if that.
The Daily Record just said Dundee approach for Darren McGregor knocked back by Hibs. And Patrick McPartney, we've dropped our interest in Morgan Rogers, who wants to stay in England.
He's got to Blackpool, apparently.
Is he?
On loan, aye.
Surely you'd pick it. I mean, I've been to Blackpool. It's a fucking awful way. If you had the choice of going to Edinburgh or Blackpool, even because you do the shows, first weekend you're there, and then after that you'd just be living a life of regret. Whereas you could come up to Edinburgh, it's nice every weekend.
Yeah. What league are they in? Is it League One or the Championship?
They're in the Championship.
That's why he's doing
They went up for League One because that was when we signed Mitchell. Seeing a lot of their fans were saying he was really good last year, but hasn't he really got into the team this year? I don't know how they're doing, Blackpool, but I think they've just sold their best player as well. Although I'm not 100% sure.
That was the Hibs.
Exactly.
Right, Livingston on Saturday. Colin, you want to kick us off? What was your take on the game?
So I thought the first half wasn't too bad. We were all right. Mitchell looked sharp. Then obviously he took his goal well. Cadden took his goal well. Will we go with that? Or he had a shot cross. It was one of the two. I'm not sure which. In between big goalie mistake. But the first half was alright. Second half was dire. I mean, Omiyonga ran the second half like he never ran a game like that when he was at Hibs.
Yeah.
But then I've done it twice in 2 months now, 3 months, whatever it's been, since he's done it, and he's making our midfield look like mugs, no matter who's in it. Because I think we've seen that we can surely put to bed that we're a better team when it's Mule's not in it and all that we're reading. For whatever reason, he wasn't on the bench and never even got on. I don't know, but we're not a better team without Newell. And simple as that. Doyle Hayes, since the first sort of handful of games of the season, I don't think he's lived up to what he was in that first, 5-6 games when he impressed everybody.
Yeah.
Struggled in the midfield, but I did say, I don't know if I'm going on too much here, if you want to get Jamie or no, but the first when the team got posted in the group chat, the first thing I seen, I thought, that midfield looks lightweight as fuck with Campbell and Doyle Hayes being the engine room. And I don't think this 3-4-3 helps. It just makes the midfield too light. No matter who we've got. And I know we're coming on to picking our team, but you try and pick a team in a 3-4-3, it's fucking hard to pick a midfield that looks strong enough. So,
Jamie, what about your overall views of the game before we start kind of breaking it down a wee bit?
I just to be honest with you, I liked the look of Mitchell, as Colin was saying, but I just thought we were off a pedestrian. I kind of that we had scored a couple of goals, but I'm pretty sure up until quite late on that they were our only 2 shots on target. And if you can even call Cadden's a shot on target because it's a cross, it's one of them. But I don't know. We're just pedestrian. And I was at the game thinking, I'm not even actually interested. It's just meh like that. You know what I mean? And I know Livingston come to upset, but it just wasn't a very good game. I don't know what it is with us at the moment. We're lacking something. It's all very well keeping the ball and having possession stats and this, that, and the other, but that doesn't get you goals. And we've not got enough in the final third. We have got enough in the final third. I know we've lost well, but we're just not using the players to hurt teams. It just seems we're just. I didn't understand what the game plan is. I hear all the time that people going, "Oh, I can see what he's trying to do." Well, can somebody tell me, because I can't see it? I mean, I understand he's trying to play for the back. That's really about it. I'm not going to get on the manager's back. Far from it. But it doesn't feel like we're. Okay, I know Boyle's at the team. I've just said that, but we've still got goals in this. I just didn't understand how we're not getting crosses into the box and looking more direct. I just didn't understand it.
What did you think of the team selection? We saw Rocky dropped out the team. Porteous came back in. McGinn came back in because he had played the game before, had he? Joe Newell dropped out the team. Mitchell came in. Deutsch came in.
I was astounded that it didn't start Rocky, and I seen his comments was something on the lines of, didn't they want to put him into too many games too soon? Hibs can't afford to do that. You're either at the club and you're available to play every game, or you're injured. And I just didn't understand that we can't keep making big wholesale changes. Taking Newell at the team as well, I think, a bit of a disappointment for me. I don't know if he was maybe resting him for the derby or what, and he gives you a bit of height, Newell, as well. I just think that for some reason, we just look like a very young, small side again. We've went from, at least being able to back some kind of things up to just looking very average. I don't know where we'll go. But Porter's coming back into the side. It was good to see him there. when they say that he was pulling up trees or anything like that. It's just good to have him back in the side. I think McGinn will drop out for the derby and he'll go. I know we're going to get onto the team later, but I think he'll go with the back three: Hanlon, Rocky, and Porto. But we just need to see how we kind of get forward. It's definitely need to get Neil back in the team, and either Campbell or Doyle Hayes needs to drop out for me.
Oh, Jack, you picked the team with Tuesday in mind?
Well, it sounds like it for the Rocky thing, but it makes me wonder now that he's played 70 minutes out of the 90 and he can't do that many games in a row that he might not be available for tomorrow based on that. So we might not have a Rocky tomorrow, because if he couldn't play 2 games in a row on Saturday, how can he play 3 games in a row on Tuesday? So I don't know. And the team selection it's like mass changes per game. And I know he's trying to see boys play and all that, but he's going for picking guys in the team starting a game to no even getting off the bench in the next game. Because like Newell didn't get a minute, didn't even see him fucking warming up. Same with Dre Wright, was even on the bench again. And I know a lot of folk didn't rate Dre Wright and all that, but the point is that he started a couple of games and then he's not even getting on the bench or not even getting a sniff. Whereas you would think he's just seeing them sort of in isolation in certain games. He's not seeing them in different situations, or from a judgment point of view, it seems a bit. I don't know. I don't want to criticise the boy 6 games in, or 5 games, whatever it is. But it's mass changes. I didn't like to. I don't think it's right to be doing that. But we had a team that finished third. That team's still there, excluding the boy who scored all the goals. He didn't score all the goals. He scored a third of the goals, right? Because the 3 of them they got like 60 between them, didn't they, or 45 between them, whatever it was. So we've got that basis there, a team that finished third, and instead of adding to it, we're ripping it up. And fucking, you hear it, you read it, you hear other podcasts, you hear it. Bin him, do it, see him again, and you like, they would be good squad players. They finished third in the league last year. We just needed to bring in better than them, and then keep them to challenge for the position. But we're just fucking tearing it up, like as if it was fucked because we had a bad run of games in November or October and November. You know what I mean? It's like a complete fucking overhaul. And it's like we're back in transition. We need to just put up the patience. We didn't need to be in transition. We had a squad there. We had a squad that finished third and was getting to consecutive cup finals. Well, why the fuck did we need to tear it up and start again? We didn't. We just needed to make it better. So went off subject.
Really good point. It's
okay. When we seen the Nisbet basically dropping into midfield to collect the ball, that tells you need to know that there's not enough happening for him in the last bit. He done a lot more work, which people were moaning about. You know, he's lazy, he doesn't do enough for the team, blah blah. Well, he did on Saturday, but the fallback you've got there is he's not in the box when you're trying to make moves. So it's one of them. You know, what do you do? Kind of deal. You know, I just didn't get it. But I thought Nisbet was good on Saturday. Just that you need him in the box.
He actually got better once Doidge went off, surprisingly enough, which is always, we hear the chat that he needs Doidge up there, but actually when Doidge got subbed, Nisbet,
I was watching Doidge as well, and you know I'm not a lover of Doidge, and I know a lot of people rate him, and I'll take pelters, and I'm not bothered about that. But everybody keeps going on about the work rate and this, that, and the other. And I specifically watched them to say that I'm going to keep an eye and see what the game here is. I didn't see him do much for the team. I thought he was poor Saturday.
He looked off the pace on Saturday. Like he's since he come back from his injury, I don't think he's had a really kind of.
That's probably the most minutes he's played since he came back as well. I mean, it was only a couple of weeks ago that he had only done 30 minutes since his injury. Like somebody had said that stat, he's only played 30 minutes. And it was Dave and Dave off the Quick Bang said it's played 29 minutes. I think I remember him say.
Yeah.
And folk are writing him off saying he's not the same since his injury. He's played less than half an hour. 6 months.
He's been back a while though. You know, I know he's not got minutes on the pitch in terms of the games that you're going to, but I've had a break, and he has played in bounce games, I believe. I don't know if something is thingy there, but as I say, I just didn't see it in him. I didn't know what other people are seeing. I just can't see it.
So if you go back to the game, we go in front. It's a goal from Mitchell making his Easter Road debut. We run into the back post, tidy we finish. Things are looking promising, and then right after that, the referee gives Livingston a penalty. Colin, what did you make of that incident? The whole, if you talk through from the goal through to the penalty.
I can't remember. I think I was still talking about the goal, but I sit at the other end of the ground, so it was hard for me to see that I could. The reaction gave me an idea it wasn't a penalty, and a new message saying, "Oh yeah, that's never a penalty." So you've got a better view of that for your seat. And I've seen it on the telly since, and it's clearly just. But the boy never got booked for diving either.
No.
So I don't know if it was a dive or if Macy caught him after he got the ball.
I think Macy just beat him to it.
Aye, so
he did. That's right in line with where I sit. I sit in the east, and Macy's effectively running towards me, and it's clear as day. He's moved the ball, and the guy's basically run into him. So when he looked for a penalty, I was like, "What?" A penalty. He was straight at it. As soon as the challenge happened, he was away. He get penalty, and I was surprised that because the linesman didn't flag or anything like that, and it hadn't been the intervention for Macy, and there was somebody else at him as well. That would have been a penalty.
But I don't know if that was. I agree. I agree with that. I just wondered if they've got the microphones now. That's why he's not going to flag up.
Yeah.
Yes, the referee's gone. No, fucking, it's definitely a penalty. I'm not overruling it. Because as soon as you go over to the linesman, you're immediately thinking, oh, he thinks it's different. Because it was funny. The first time he went over, when he first started going over, I thought he was going over to book Macy or Porteous. I got mental. And then I seen him talking, and I thought he's got to chop it off. Otherwise, he wouldn't have went over. But I don't know if they give him a couple of buzzes, like a couple of 3 rings, when they get him, sort of thing, in the rear to say it's not a penalty or what it is they do. But because I think the flag draws attention to it. I don't know. But it was never a penalty.
It definitely wasn't a penalty.
Aye. And then we had a shout for a penalty, Colin, which was down your end when Mitchell got kind of barged over.
Aye, I've not seen it back. I didn't think it was a penalty at the time, but folk room me did. But I'm going, I think that was that a penalty. I've not seen it back in the telly. Never showed you in the highlights or anything on Sports Scene, so I've not seen it back. So unless somebody's got a better view for the other side, I wasn't that upset at not getting it. But I might be like. Folk might be going, "Was he fucking watching? What game is he watching?" But I wasn't jumping up and down for it at the time.
Amy, what about you? Did you?
It was too far away from me. I know the challenge you're talking about. One of the boys had texted me because he was watching it on Hibs TV, saying it was definitely a penalty. I've not seen it back, so it did look like a penalty a few hours, but I'm basically a couple of sections away from the very end of these stands, so it was like just one of them.
TV never thought it was worthy showing it to mention.
Well, that tells you all you really need to know. Then my phone keeps going, but
no, nothing's happening.
There's just signing.
The next ends happening. I don't know.
Everybody moaning about no making signings. That's what's happening, right? It's what's keeping your phone busy. And then we went 2-1 up. So Chris Cadden, Jamie.
No, we let it go in before we went 2-1 up.
Oh, so we did.
Right, yeah.
I'm thinking of a penalty, getting ahead of myself. Right, Jamie. Talk me through the goal we conceded.
I just didn't understand what Macy's doing. It doesn't need to come to make any kind of challenge, and if he is wanting to come and claim it, he's got to be more decisive, more aggressive, and actually win the ball. But it's a pure mistake in my eyes. I don't know if there is a trust issues with the goalie. He thinks the defenders are up to it. Vice versa. I don't know what's going on, if he's no shouted but for me it's definitely his mistake. But it's a really, really poor goal to lose, and bread and butter for a team like Livingston. You know what I mean? It's just something, just get your head on it, and it's worked out a goal. Really, really easy goal.
Yeah.
Colin, you defend Macy quite regularly on here. Hard one to defend for that one, wasn't it?
Oh, you can't. Yeah, no, it's a mistake. It's a mistake. There's no denying. I watched it again. I watched Sports Scene at lunchtime today, and I was like, that was the first time I've seen it on the TV. 100% his mistake. But then you look at it and you go, like, it was the boys never got to score for there if he stayed in his line. But then if he stayed in his line, folk would have been moaning at him for staying on his line, because I mean that's the Hibs way. But the defence didn't help him out. The free, even though he fucking made an arse of it, the boys got a feeder in the box. There's made defenders and the attackers. You're looking for somebody to bail you out when you make a mistake. and he never got bailed out. It was a horror mistake. Like, it's just what folk have been, I was going to say calling for, but waiting for all season, really. Yeah.
It's a tricky one for a goalkeeper, because you make a mistake like that and lose a goal when it's obviously ammunition for the folk who didn't rate him. We spoke about him a fair bit, Colin. I'm not wanting to labour the point, but Jamie, you didn't rate Macy as highly. What's your thinking behind that?
I like the coming out and commanding your box for somebody that height. You know, it's been well reported in terms of what height he actually is. So if he's 6'7", he must be jumping 8-9 feet with his arms in the air, and just you show a bit more aggression. If that's no kind of in your game, then you need to let defenders know, listen, I'm no confident to come out for that. You need to start winning headers, and I'll make sure that, you know, I'm covering the angles at the goals. But it just seems like wee mistakes, getting beat at your near post, the kick that he's kicked off the guy against Cove. It's just a wee bundles of mistakes seem to be creeping in every single game. Now, that may be a confidence thing, but I just didn't think he's up to it. But then what he will do is he'll pull off a really good snapshot save that he shouldn't be getting to. You're thinking, how the fuck have you got to that? And then you're letting other shots in. It's frustrating. But again, I just didn't think he's up to it. I think we're regressing in that kind of thing. Have we had luxury players like Marciano, and who did make mistakes, but he made up for it loads in different areas. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't fill me with confidence.
My opinion on it is that he gets a hard time because he's tall, so we expect more from him, right? So he's 2 or 3 inches taller than a normal goalie, I suppose. So we expect him to jump a lot higher. I don't think he's liked as much by the fans as others. So Rocky had a wife that was prolific on Twitter and that, and gave him a bit of personality and stuff like that. He looks a bit like Dominic Raab. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a like thing.
But equally, if we this is not just a goalkeeper thing in his height. So when we had other top players, let's look at Colin Nish and maybe other defenders, you're thinking, how are you not winning that? The size of person that you are, you couldn't fit a fag paper underneath your boots when you're jumping.
Well, Nish jumped away.
And it's just things like that. So obviously, are tall people just anti-jumping? Is that what the crack is?
Well, they probably had never had to do it because they've been able to get away with it. Imagine them all through the youth football and that. They probably never had to jump because they were always taller. But that's not an excuse for it. I mean, he's made a mistake. He did come out and he should have stayed in his line. But as I say, if he'd stayed in his line, folk would have moaned at him. Folk moan at him all the time, and it can't be good for his confidence. And that's just in the fans. There's folk with me shouting him. I was saying last night, 70 minutes. Mitchell, he did the ball out for a corner down in front of me at the away end, at the west stand away end, and there was folk shouting for the goalie to come for it. 5 yards for the touchline. Mitchell, he did it straight out for a corner. You think, no, that's not a goalie's ball. He can't pick it up. He can't do anything there. And I just think he gets, folk expect him or the goalie. It's just goalie they shout. They used to do it with Rocky and that as well. And it's just, I don't know, it's like there's a paranoia about like goalies because we had so many shite ones after having 3 good ones in the 80s and the 90s, and then we went through 10
even with what's his face, Bogdan, you know, a class keeper. Can I mean when him and Rocky were at it, they were both really fighting for the jersey, and it showed. You, I mean, you were like, it doesn't matter which one of them's in goals. You knew you were in kind of safe hands. But that's when I think you can take that thing last year as well. Given the cup games or the cup runs at Macy and then no handing it back to Marciano, I thought was wrong at the time. But
there was a thread in Hibs.net today actually that was listing Marciano errors that we've all forgotten about.
He did make loads of them.
Yeah. And that's holding him back as well, because it's like he's not as good as Rocky. Folk have been saying that since before the season started. It's been all against him. And I tell you what, I think, and it could be controversial, but I think he lacks confidence when Porteous is playing. And I'm not saying it's Porteous that's causing it, but Porteous' reaction when a goal goes in, it's the full toddler temper tantrum every time. Yeah. And he might feel intimidated by that. Because you watch this when we let a goal in and Porteous is stamping the feet or hitting the ground, and it happened on Saturday, and it happens regularly when a goal goes in, whether it's Macy's fault or no. But the goalie might be thinking, "Fuck, they were all moaning," and then he's doing that, and the fans like Porteous on the likability thing. So because we like him, he gets away with loads of mistakes. But because we like him, we go, he's angry about it, and he's moaning about Macy, so it's Macy's fault. Whereas actually,
if that is the case, and that is he's finding it's tough, whatever it is, thinking, then he needs dropped. Now, obviously, I didn't care what that Dabrowski's like. I've no idea. I've never ever seen him play. And again, people are talking about putting him in. Is he any better, or is it just the fact that Maloney's saying, well, actually, I'm not confident with this guy either, so we'd rather play with Macy, who might have a wee bit of confidence issue. Then if that's the case, we need to sign a new goalie. Again, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, or has he got a confidence issue when Porteous is in the team? And then when we've had clean sheets when Porteous isn't in the team, and as soon as Porteous comes back, we'll let 3 goals in. So is it Porteous that's the problem? Or a problem?
Well, we'll come on to that.
When was the last time I had a clean sheet?
Last week.
I'm joking.
Right, so that's Livingston's goalkeeper mistake. We go back in front with Cadden. Obviously, right, somebody's practicing on the training ground every day and staying behind, whipping those shots in for the touchline. Yeah. I thought we were quite good value for the lead at half-time. Like going in 2-1 up. Livi had the really troubled us. Their goal was a bit of a freak as well. If you're looking at it like that, Jamie, do you think we were good value for the lead at half time?
I thought we were good value for the lead at half time. I didn't think we would get back in it too soon. But obviously, I didn't think Chris Cadden thought that either. But we were definitely worth it. They didn't really cause us much problems. But as I say, it was quite pedestrian. I didn't think, we were. The runs Mitchell were making were very direct. Cadden was good as well, good at getting up the sides, but there were doesn't seem to be any end product to it. But obviously, both of them have scored goals, so take that what you will. But it was definitely a massive slice of luck because there's no danger that he's meant that.
And then, Colin, we come out for the second half and we're on the back foot right away. Doesn't take long for Livingston to get back in the game. What do you think of their equaliser?
It was just poor. It was back to the old school. We thought with everybody had assumed Maloney or Caldwell had sort of do the defending for a cross. It was just a long throw in, wasn't it? And the boy beat Rocky to the flick on, and then Porteous and Cadden between them let the boy get in between them, and he just tapped it in or headed it in. Pretty poor goal defensively, really, because I think the throw in came for a really shit clearance for Rocky actually as well, where he was trying to clear it and he just swiped it towards me. Aye. So it was a real shit bit of clearance there. Was that before Nisbet cleared 2 off the line, or was that just that? Was that after it? It was either side, wasn't it?
Just after it, I think, because Josh had said to me at the time, he says, the goal's coming. You could see it. You could see it was coming.
So shite clearance, one long throw in. Rocky gets beat. Porteous, I think, jumped under it, and then Cadden was sort of expecting Porteous to head it away, and so left the boy in his Todd to head it in. So it was really fucking amateurish, pishy defending back to where we were before Maloney came in. Defence.
And
then Jamie, the winner for Livingston.
I'd left by this point as I was going to that 30th. I thought to myself, we're not going to lose this game, but there you go. I just didn't think it was happening, but just one of the things. I've never even seen sports scene or anything like that, so I can't even comment on that goal.
I've watched that back. Sorry, Jamie, I watched that back earlier on as well, and obviously Campbell gave the ball away, but if you watch it, it's just shite because we've done the thing getting it to the centre half. Overhit a pass to Doyle. He's chasing after it to get a flick onto Campbell. Campbell gets it, loses it, and then the boy goes 1-on-1 with Porteous and he shows him inside again, like he did for the goal you were talking about when Macy got beat his near post against St Mirren, like he did in the first half when the boy put it past the post. This time he let him go, like he did when he gave the penalty against Rangers away. This time the boy can't side and pinged into the far corner. It was a cracking finish, but shite defensive play, and obviously the midfield giving the ball away as well, but really poor actually for the defence again, because he was pretty much the only guy up there. It was the only thing he could do. I don't know if there was maybe somebody over that he could have maybe squared it to, but we've got 3 centre halves back, two attackers, one running at one of them, and he bent it in really well to the far post. But it's like, how is he getting to cut inside and how's he getting a shot away? So I thought it was really poor when I've seen it. But if you're a Livingston fan, you think, what a great goal. But if you're a Hibs fan, you're going, fuck's sake, man. Well, why did you show him in his good foot?
All the goals were avoidable, eh? They're really frustrating. I can't every goal you could argue is avoidable, but I think those three in particular were poor ones to lose. And then what did you make sort of the tactical changes or the subs to try and get back in the game, Colin?
Remind me. So there was 5 subs was in the end, so probably too fucking many of them. Like sometimes you didn't need to use all 5 subs just because you can. I think Campbell wasn't having a great game. He came off, didn't he? Dodge came off. Nisbet got better when Dodge went off. Definitely. Yep. I don't know if he was getting into more central positions. And I think Dodge was probably playing up in the middle and Nisbet was playing a bit wider, although it wasn't obvious, but because of that formation. It didn't really make any difference, did it? Like we weren't any quicker, we weren't any faster. We just kept somebody put a screenshot into one of the group chats I'm in. I can't remember which one, and it was a screenshot of the telly, like quite far into the game. And Jamie, I think you kind of half mentioned it earlier, but we had like fucking 70-odd% possession or something and 2 shots on goal, but they had 20-odd%, 30% possession, and about fucking 8 shots on target. Not just on not just shots, like on target. And you think, fuck's sake, like what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? We've all this ball, but nobody's shooting. And I think Maloney made a comment in his aftermatch about, well, they got a goal that a shot for distance counts the same as a goal. And you think, well, we were no fucking shooting. So, like, if we're not taking any shots, then we're not going to register any shots on target, are we? Like, you can't criticise them just because they fucking dared to take a shot.
Yeah, what's mental about it, right? And so obviously you have managers want to play football a certain way, right? And I'll not get drawn. I think we've seen enough from Maloney to see how he wants Hibs to play, right? It's still early days. But Martindale, who didn't rate at all as a manager, despite him having Hibs number the last 2 times that we've played them, Livingston were getting attempts at us, and all they were doing, the keeper was shelling it down on top of their centre halves. That was it. It's a big,
by the way,
and it was
slight
effective.
tactical change. Stick the big guy who looked quite handy. The wee guy, because we've got a wee guy at centre half, because we've not got any. We want to play 3 at the back, but we've not got 3 centre halves. So he stuck the big guy on the fullback, and it's pretty obvious that that's what folks and what are we doing here? What are we doing? Why is Stevenson marking the boy? Well, the boy's not giving him any choice. He's pulling onto him, wasn't he? So it was, and I think Stevenson not that bad, but still, it was pretty obvious that it should have been Rocky or Porteous that was picking him up, but probably Rocky because he's in the middle when the boy was coming over to the left. But it was just a slight.
Martindale's done that a couple of times to us. See, we beat them last year at Easter Road, and it was a rocky finish to the game. It was maybe a 2-1 or something like that. And the whole second half, he put J. Emmanuel Thomas on top of Stevenson, and he was just telling boys to shell the ball. And he was winning them all the time. And it's obviously a tactic that he focuses on Stevenson, and because of the height, Stevenson, he is what he is. He's dependable. He's one of the guys. But when you're dealing with that, it's impossible, eh?
Yeah. He looked handy, that boy. He's a boy that you called for
Arbroath.
Arbroath, that's right, on loan, but he was there. You think, why was he on loan? Because he looked pretty handy,
Should have had a booking, though, I think,
Was that?
Fouling, at least the boy should have had a booking at least for persistent fouling. Right. Well, we'll drop the Livingston game. Before we talk about the derby, it's transfer deadline day. So our transfer business so far today, or not today, but in this window, we've had Runar Haug, which I think I'm saying that right, who signed today.
Signed today.
Apparently for the sort of the development squad. Elias Melkerson, Rocky Bashiri, Chris Mueller, who arrived having signed a pre-contract earlier in the season, Dimitri Mitchell, Ewan Henderson, Harry Clark. We've had Dylan Tate come back for his loan for Wraith before going back out, and Dan Mackay left the club to go to Kilmarnock on loan, and we lost Boyle, Halberg and Gullen. Colin, how are you feeling about the transfer business so far? Good enough or no good enough?
Well, it doesn't feel good enough at the moment, but then is it? I think we've tried to like I was saying earlier, I think we've tried to rip up something that was nearly there, and it's causing us issues now. We're bringing in guys for the B team that we're spending money on. Like, we've got a fucking B team now, so we're bringing in for guys for a team that doesn't really exist, that isn't in a league. So and what, the 20 and 19? Like, if you should be ready for if you're not ready for the first team when you're 19 or 20, I mean, are you ever going to be ready? It's and I know I'll get fucking Ian Wright and all that chuck back and Jamie Vardy, but they're thrown out because they are the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
If you're 19 or 20 and getting signed by somebody, surely you'll be ready for the first team. If not, why are you fucking signing you?
But Melkerson was playing like last season in the first team. I know it was their championship, if you want to call it that, but so surely he's not coming here to be a development player. I know Haig is, but they were talking about him as well today. I was like, is he or is he not?
I know. We were unlucky with Clark. Right? So he came and got injured. Rocky, they're saying, obviously, can he play 2 games in a row with Saturday's shout. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Tate's a funny one. Mackay's a funny one. Well, Mackay's a funny one purely if he's no better than Jamie Murphy, then like why did we sign him? Tate, if he's not ready yet, why did we recall him? If he's loan to send him out to another team, he could have stayed at the team he was settled at, but they obviously they spunked their budget or something. You said, so they couldn't get him back. I think
they've maybe taken somebody else instead.
Yeah. So he's away at another team in the same league. He's not even went to a team in the Premier League when you would say, well, at least he's getting tested against the teams that he'll be playing against next season. Who have I missed there that was signed? Mueller. Mueller, I'm not sure yet on Mueller. Obviously, I never saw him at the Cove game. I wasn't at the Cove game. I know everybody was raving about him. I don't know if it was just wishful thinking, like the time when Zibby came in the team at pre-season in Ireland. The people were going, brilliant. He came for a couple of crosses and that, and he was absolutely fucking hopeless. So I don't know. No seen Mueller yet. And the games he's played, the games I've seen him play, the Motherwell game and the Livingston game, he was all right. So hopefully he just needs some games. I can't think of who else there is, but it's not been a great window. And Henderson looks a bit lightweight. He's not created anything yet. Done nearly scored or hit the post or put a good ball in, let's say, for at the Motherwell game. But again, laddie's hardly ever played in his career. Like, he's probably in the fucking B team box with other ones because he's the same age. He played as many games as him. So I don't know how they differentiate, but I don't know. I think it's been a great window, but I don't know who they'll blame for it because they sacked everybody the last time.
I can't. Like, who shoulders the blame now? Jamie, what about you? How's your feelings of the transfer window?
I was excited when we were, when it all started kicking off. We're signing players early, getting quite a lot of new faces in. But as I was saying earlier on, it just seems that we've went from, being a tough, dogged. I know a few games we were losing thingy, but even before that, and last year we were able to grind out results, and it seems now we're quite lightweight, and we didn't have anybody that is going to put the foot on the ball, and with I didn't kind of thingy, but just somebody in midfield that looks like they can handle the pressure of being, without being overrun. As reiterate what Colin was saying there about Henderson, the laddie definitely looks like he's got something about him, but he is very, very lightweight. And I'm not sure all the skill in the world is going to get him through a lot of the games in Scotland. It's just one of the things. But as for a second, I've never seen Mueller either, and I wasn't at the Cove game, but I was surprised he didn't start at the weekend. Bushiri played well for what I've seen of him. But possibly at fault with the header, but
I should say that actually that's the one I missed. He's been he wasn't brilliant on Saturday, but he wasn't maybe playing. Other than that, he's looked quite good at Parkhead and at Motherwell. So I'll give them credit on that one. We definitely needed a centre half. He appears to be decent most of the time so far. So
the big thing is Melkerson for me, because we signed him to be a striker and we paid money for him, and it was seemingly one of the ones that was like, how have Hibs managed to get him, blah blah blah, and yet he's here, his permit's it's all fine now. He's got the permit to work. He's been playing games, even if he's only playing a half or half an hour. Why isn't you've got to play for me to your strengths? And if he is one of the strengths, then play him. If he's no, then tell us he is for the development or whatever it is, and then Focal stop hankering on. He needs to come on the side without really seeing him play. But you need to the new players who have come in, if they're there to be better than what we had, they have to play.
Mm-hmm. That's what we were saying in the summer. Like, I mean, we did speak about getting numbers in, which we're clearly doing here, right? Whether they're good enough, but we spoke about getting a few bodies in that are going to improve the side, and we never done it. Now what we've done is we've done that appears to have done the numbers thing, with maybe the exception of Rocky, but we've not improved the side.
Yeah.
So far, and we've got plenty. I mean, normally in a window you go, well, we've signed 6, we've got some of them in early. That all is good on paper, but only one of them's played any real length of time, and we're saying he can't play consecutive games. The only one that's done any minutes.
I'll tell you what's going to happen this window as well, because the people are going to bleat on about no replacing Boyle.
Yeah.
You can't replace Boyle. Boyle is just one of the guys who come in and easy could have left in the first 2 seasons and folk wouldn't have even batted an eyelid. And then suddenly become invaluable. He was brilliant. He was the MVP, if you want to put it like that. Yeah. And a standout in the team. Now that's why he went for that money. We can't afford to replace like for like with that. It's impossible. But what you do want is to have a wee stab at it and have somebody that's you've kept an eye on, knowing that Boyle might leave. Now, we've not done that, and the window is going to slam shut without actually having another winger. And if that's the way he's going to play, we try and be inexpensive. Well, we have got Cadden and we've got Mitchell who are going to provide the width. So, for me, I would have been looking for, rather than to replace Boyle or to have that kind of style of player, is to have someone that's a fucking bulldog in midfield, because we just haven't got that. You can have a wee bit of fluid. That's what we're missing for me, and another striker. But are we holding off to the summer to spend the money? Because Maloney's already said that it'll be going back into the first team. It'll be available to spend to him. So are we just being cautious and saying, well, actually, we're just going to see you the rest of the season, because it's going to be a shitey few last months if that's the case.
Aye. I think it's you also have that. So I think all of our expectations were raised. Like, we talked it up on the podcast as well. Like, you can't. Graham Matthew obviously lost his job. Jack Ross lost his job, and a lot of the chat was because the transfer window in the summer wasn't good enough. So there was an expectation that the club had this opportunity in January to put it right, and then you get £3 million in for Boyle, and you think, well, there's really no excuse to not be getting it right, and spending that money or some of that money and getting the players in. Obviously, it's not as easy as that, right? Otherwise, every club would just only ever sign good players. And
any plans that might have been made will have been changed, because 2 weeks before the window, they changed the guy in charge. So he'll have come up with different ideas and different. I mean, different formation for one, right? That's not got to. So Jack Ross might have had a goal scoring midfielder that he had his eye on, maybe the boy McGrath at St Mirren. That we were doing it straight back in for, because we nearly had him signed in July or August. But Maloney's came in and went, I don't want to go score midfielder, because I'm playing 3-4-3, so I need wingers and like attacking wide players, or whatever they're called, inside forward sort of things, with that, and that 3 up front. So a lot of things that might have been in plan got ripped up 2 weeks before that, and then when he's come in, he's thought, we'll need to assess them. So it's knocked everything back by a month. And here we are, like, scrapping about with an hour and 18 minutes to go, 2 hours 18 minutes to go, because that's the English one. They're winding down there, and we're going. I think somebody in the evening news says that's probably us done, unless something extraordinary happens.
It's mental how we've gone for a relative position of strength and managed to make a shambles at it.
Aye, that's what's happened. 3rd place, consecutive cup finals, with a basis of a squad that now the majority are saying shite and isn't good enough. Can it be the case? Is that they're lacking confidence. They needed extra bodies to improve them, and we're just not signing them for whatever reason.
So one of the things that was doing the rounds on Saturday was we meme with comparisons of Maloney and Cathro. Either you having that?
That's just utter fucking nonsense.
Apart from that boy.
What are the drawn comparisons? Because like they were number twos for a while before they got a manager's job, and Cathro made an arse of himself. I was listening to Hibs, I think it was actually, and they were saying again, who did Cathro ever play for? At least Maloney played at a good level, won things. Do you know what I mean? He has got that kind of experience. Now, okay, he's new into the managerial game, and you just hope that he's not trying to bring something that's an impossibility to, or a style of play that we just can't afford to play. But fucking drawn comparisons because he was at Hearts. Fuck off.
It's funny. It's exactly what I said to a Hearts fan. I know. I seen him on Sunday morning at my daughter's football, and he said the Cathro thing. I went, but I hadn't seen the memes in that. And I says, but Maloney played football, like for one, but also like so it's the media performances or whatever you want to call it. Maloney used to do sports scene, like he used to be on. So obviously, I know it's BBC and we criticise the pundits in the BBC, but when Maloney was on sports scene, he used to be all right. You know what I mean? He was on. You never used to think that he talks a lot of shite or he's a rabbit in the headlights or anything like that. So if the BBC are employing him to do that job, then they never employed Cathro to do it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
situation.
Yet to be seen in his coaching and that, like, but certainly I wouldn't. I think it's wishful thinking. Is what I would say it is.
It's lazy, is what it is.
Aye.
Oh, Ken, there was some manager and Ken just drawing comparisons. It's nonsense. It's just lazy bullshit journalism and folk jumping onto the back of it.
Aye, I tend to agree. I think the comparisons are nonsense, and even Maloney having been a number two, it's like you say, he's played at a high level. And how many players just go straight from? Kind of like if David Gray taken the job, nobody would be going. It's like Cathro, but he's been a coach at the club first, or Bartley. Bartley come for Livingston and got the job.
Right.
They would have been saying it. It is
or Robbie Nielsen.
Or Robbie Nielsen. Aye. Okay, right. Derby on tomorrow night. We'll sort of look at a starting 11 for it in a wee minute. Jamie, what's your gut feeling for it? How's it going to go?
I think we're just going to get overrun just with the physicality of the game. I know it's a derby and everything kind of goes out the window, but on what I've seen, I didn't think we've got the physicality to kind of to deal with that. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I'm just basically calling it as I really see it. It's their midfield, even the strikers, that new guy they got for Everton, what a size of a lad he is. And it's just whether we can kind of keep control of that. Need to see who as defence you would hopefully that Bashiri can kind of match up with him if that's the case. But listen, you're hopeful that you can do something. But if we lose an early goal, the crowd will turn, I think.
Yeah.
What were you calling? How's your gut feeling for it?
I am just pinning my hope on the fact on the past stuff when the team that's the big underdogs that are playing shite in a derby can pull a result. It's usually fucking name like, but it can happen. It's happened to us before when we went in with no expectations. So I'm hoping that is what it is. But totally agree with what Jamie's saying. Now, we've not got a midfield that's got to be able to cope with it. Actually, if you're Nielsen, if he wanted to really fucking come and give us a doing, he would just play three up front and match up with the defenders because none of them are really that comfortable on the ball. None of them are good enough really to be playing the game plan we want to be playing with the ball at their feet. So you would just match up and say, right, fucking just press them and let them make mistakes and we'll get chances for that. We wouldn't even need to worry about the midfield because we'll be pushing about at the back and just getting chased in. So
it worked for Livingston. I mean, that's exactly what they changed. Higher press, worked a treat.
Yep.
Probably the most worried I've been going at the derby for years. Like I haven't watched the last couple of games and been like, there's nothing really to us at the moment. I think what our best team is. We've not really got a player that's
nobody does.
Correct.
Nobody does. Not even like, you're picking, like we'll come to it, but you're picking probably 7 or 8 that'll play because they just have to play really. But it's not, you wouldn't say that. Is it your best team? I know. That's a worry. Like
the mental thing as well, right? And this is the problem with him. And I'm not saying it's a problem for Maloney specifically, right? But so far he seems to have been pretty rigid with the system that he's wanting to play, or the formation. And the problem you have when you do that and you believe in it and you go, right, that's what we're going to work through all the hard times. is if you want the players to buy into it, you need to go through that process and stick with it, even though you might go, this could be a sore one tonight. Because if he changes it and goes, right, we'll play 4-5-1, for example, and we get a 0-0 or a 1-0 win, we sneak a win, it's very hard for him to then go back to a 3-4-3 when we're not playing well again, because the players will be like, I can just do that system. So he's either going to have to stick with it and keep his fingers crossed that it's not a sore one, or he's going to have to bite the bullet and say, my philosophy, if you like, as a coach, is going to take a wee bit of a hit here because I'm going to ask them to do something different for one game because I didn't really trust that they can do what I've been asking them to do. It's a difficult situation to be in.
Very difficult.
Yes.
Very.
But, I mean, surely if it's a coach, you've got to be flexible.
Of course you do.
And we've not seen that yet. I mean, he's not changed the
yet.
formation yet. He's played full position. He's played fullbacks at centre half or midfielders in some cases at centre half, rather than change the formation. He's never changed the formation in a game. He's just changed the bodies that come on, and loads of the deadwood, like Scott and all that, coming on, and like boys that are coming on. Well. It's mad. He was nowhere, and now he's getting games. It's like fuck. But it's even your Dre Wrights, your Wrights and your Murphys and all that, because you've got, but Dre Wright was nowhere near getting a minute. Now he's like starting games, or as Saturday, as I said, didn't get any minutes. But that now he's not getting released, so because he likes him, so you think he's fucking starting the morning. He's in the team. So it's like fuck. I don't know. Like it's just it's a real worry. Like I know nothing about the tactical side of the game. Like we've discussed that before, really. But
we're quite open about that, aren't we?
Even down to dealing the left centre half on the left hand side stuff. But if it was me playing Championship Manager, I would just put 3 strikers or 3 attacking players up front tomorrow. Boyce, the boy for Everton, and I don't know, Mackay or whatever, and just say, chase the cunts when they get the ball, because they'll give you it. They'll keep it for a couple of passes, but they will play a stray one. Like we've seen, like I said, for the third goal there, it was overhit into Doyle Hayes, and that's how it was like shuffling shite. You know what I mean? Doyle Hayes getting a shite pass to Campbell. Campbell couldn't get under control because of the first pass in the first place. And that's our best football in centre half. The other ones, if Hanlon plays, Hanlon's no bad with the ball at his feet, but still he'll get caught. Rocky, we're yet to really see. But if we're playing with him again in that at centre half, then it's even more worrying, isn't it? So it is a worry. Like if they play 3 up or even 2 up, and just a midfielder coming and chasing it, because
I think what Jamie said about being up for the physical battle and Hearts coming and running over the top of us, because Hearts play that way anyway, and they get in about you, and I just don't think we've got the bodies to cope with it at the minute.
That's my worry.
Yeah, midfield's light as there's nobody. Like you're not going like in the past. We say, "I'll bring Bartley back for the derby." We've not got anybody even close to that status. Like,
right.
So
we'll have a go at picking a team between the 3 and see if we can come up with a team to beat Hearts.
Are we just going 3-4-3? Because that's what he's got to pick.
Aye. So
because that's not what I would pick. I would pick 3-5-2. That's
what I would go with. I know, Colin. That's.
But we're not going to do that. He's not going to do that though. So that's.
So we're going with what he's going to play.
We've got to try and predict what he's picking rather than what we think he should pick. 3-4-3. I think you've got to stick with Macy because we've not got anybody else. You've not got to chuck. You've not got to chuck I see a young laddie. I don't know what fucking age he is now. He's been in the books that long, but you're surely not got to chuck him into a derby, are you? When we're under pressure like that. No, you've got to just let Macy take the heat on that one and just say, well, you're the experienced old head, and they'll be on your case. But come on, you just need to fucking get on with it, and we've got to bin you in the summer anyway, or whatever's going to happen.
Well, if he didn't get a game against Cove, he's certainly not getting a game against Hearts.
Well, that's right. Aye, exactly. I don't know why I never played them against Cove.
So there we go, Macy.
Macy, right. Who's your back 3 then? Jamie, you go first pick.
Right. Okay, it's the right of the 3 will be purchase for me.
Yeah.
Right.
We want me to just go through the defence?
Go ahead, go to 3 and then we'll see if we're...
Bushiri centre and then Hanlon on the left of the 3.
I would say the exact same as that. Assuming Hanlon's fit.
Hanlon's fit.
And assuming Rocky can play 3 games in a row.
Aye, assuming he's all right for that. If Hanlon's no fit, are you replacing him with Stevenson, or are you hoping McGinn's fit and nudging everybody over one?
I was tossing the thing about this because Josh Doig is actually a centre half.
Yeah.
So I think I'd actually play Doig.
We'll put Doig in brackets for Hanlon. Right, our two central midfielders.
Newell's one of them. I don't know the other
Right.
one. I don't know who would play else. I wouldn't play Campbell. Campbell gives you is an engine with no real. Like he runs about and he's a bit physical.
In that way.
Aye, we do. But what have we got that? Like it's not like we're saying we've got another one on the shelf that does more than that.
This is true. So what are our options then? We've got Newell,
Henderson.
Hayes. Yep.
Stevenson.
Newell.
Henderson and Newell for me in the centre.
That's lightweight as fuck though, eh? Newell puts a tackle in and that, but they're never like heavy. It's no, it's usually a shirt pull he gets booked for, even though he picks up a lot of bookings. So.
But this is, we've not got the physicality anyway. Let's just say you replaced him and that sort of thing is take Henderson and put Jake Delhaize, and it's the same like for like in terms of physicality. But at least Henderson gives you something going forward.
Aye. Yeah.
Right. Yep. So hold on, we say Newell and are we going Henderson?
I think so.
Right. Who else is going in the midfield?
Cadden and Mitchell, wasn't it? Cadden on the right, Mitchell on the left.
Yep. And then
unless you go more defensive, you could play Mitchell on the front three, and you could stick Stevenson or Doig out on the left, couldn't you? Covering the more defensive angle there.
Aye. You could.
And you could bulk up the midfield as well. They could, step in a bit maybe.
Could somebody give a shout for Stevenson in midfield?
I said Stevenson could maybe play me. He's played there before, but he's physical, but he's not got any. Like he's not got to pick a pass, is he? But he's more defensive in nature, so it's just we do need a bit more. I would have Stevenson in the team ahead of Jake Delhaize in any position.
And right, so here's a question. You've got Mitchell on the left. Assuming Hanlon's fit, would you play Mitchell ahead of Doig?
Yes.
But you could play Mitchell on the front three, on the left of the front three. And you could play Doig.
Because I was thinking, right, so your forwards, you're probably picking from Muller, Deutsch, and Nisbet.
Oh, so they're just all playing.
Or Melkerson, if he's eventually got to step out his shadow. And again, as I say, it's one of them ones, he'll know if he's seeing him in training, because I didn't think that Melkerson is a Maloney signing. Now, he would have obviously seen videos of him and heard about him, blah, 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 but I didn't think he's actually picked him out to say, this is the guy I want. But if he's fit, I would start him ahead of Doig, if it were me. But
just stepping back to midfield, what about Cadden in midfield? When you're in the centre and somebody else on the right, if Muller could cover the right, or McGinn on the right. That's another option. This is all just to compensate for not having a midfield, though. We're actually moving Cadden out where he's been playing really well, where he's played his best stuff for us.
Aye.
He did play there in the Derby when he came back for injury in September, whenever it was October. And he done all right, didn't he? Till he came off because he was knackered. Obviously, it was his first game back, but he would give you a bit more power in that in there, and he would maybe be the one that would get more forward as well. And then that means you've probably got to play McGinn at the wing back, or is it wing back? Fuck no, is it?
You could play Muller as a wing back, but if you were going to do that, allow Cadden to cover more. That makes sense. But
I'm just trying to think how to compensate for not having a midfield, because I mean the three at the back was fairly straightforward. The goalie's pretty obvious just because of what's there, and the three up front, there's not that much to pick for. You know what I mean? You're talking about, well, we're talking about dropping a boy in that we've not seen before, but we've got Nisbet's obviously going to start, isn't he? I think Mueller's going to start. It's just, does he start up front, or does he go? Do we play him on the right wing back? I don't know. Just it's too hard. Who'd be a fucking manager? He must be fucking. Imagine I wouldn't go to Sean Maloney tonight, or tomorrow. Anyway, tonight he'll hopefully be sitting on the phone to loads of folk trying to persuade them to sign. But
you will say the team. You play them on night, biggest game of the season.
Exactly. There must be somebody at Celtic or that he can get, or they can get on loan or something, just last minute. Like, there must be a midfielder, a goal scoring midfielder with a bit of dig, and one of them. They're growing trees.
I get them no bother. This is why if we were going to go out for the, because we rumoured about Reagan Charles Cook for ages, he is a ready-made player to be and go straight into a team, but.
Yeah,
that's according to the. I think it was McPartlin that was talking about. They said we're not even looking at him.
Aye, it'd be good if they just unveiled McGuinness back for injury.
See, they're saying he's injured again.
He's injured again. I
saw that.
Broke down again.
Mind games.
Because
I wish as well. All right. Well, before we go into predictions, then. It is going to be a full house at East Road. I think it's only ticket exchange tickets that are left. Hearts, obviously, because they think they've got a chance of winning, they've sold out the way end.
Ticket prices are all right. They're acceptable at the moment.
Ticket prices are fine. They're no need for a boycott or nothing. So they'll be there. The home stands are sold out, which means the famous five will look empty on the TV for some reason. Yeah. But the other stands will be full. First time we've all been back in those numbers since COVID, isn't it? And for a midweek game at Derby, if ever there was a game to get the fans back on side and get everybody enthusiastic about the rest of the season, this is it. So, take a minute, your best sort of midweek under the floodlights Derby memory, Colin.
The one that came straight to mind was Natural Order. Was that a Friday night? Under the lights. I'm sure I went straight for work.
I think it was a Friday.
It was under the lights anyway. So, although the cup ones were pretty good, the 3-1 cup game was pretty. I've got to steal them all.
Games were brilliant.
The 3-1 cup game that should have been a lot more than 3-1. Rocky even saved a penalty. His only penalty save, I think. We spoke about it. The boy got the rebound. But
McGregor had a goal chopped off for Hee-Haw as well. That one, right?
They got a doing that night. That was pretty good, but Natural Order was good, wasn't it? That was when that was that spell under Lennon when we were really good to watch. Scored a couple of really good goals. I think McLaren maybe even hit the post or the bar in that game as well before we scored at all. So I'll go with the Natural Order, the banner, or the whole shebang.
Jamie, how about you?
And it was just Derby's, you said, eh?
Aye.
Either the David Wotherton Rocket for the right hand side, we played them. That was a midweek game. That was a brilliant game. That, or the one with Simon Murray scored at the beginning as well. I enjoyed that.
Anyway, that was a brilliant night.
Aye, I missed the goal. I was late. Aye, I'm never late, but I was late that night. I was coming in the gates when they heard the roar, running up the stair because I thought it must be us.
Get a replay.
No TV screens in their days.
Aye.
What was the Witherspoon one? The one after the Scottish Cup game?
It's basically because they had come floating and they've got to thump us, and he's leathered one in for the right hand side. Terrific goal.
Aye. So like a Sunday.
Come off Salukis. I thought it was a weekend with Scottish Cup.
It was a Sunday.
I thought it was a Wednesday night.
I tell you what, the 6-2 game was.
Right.
That was a Sunday night. It was a night game though. And what was the other? Oh, see at Tynecastle as well. The Dean Shields and Gary O'Connor 2-1 game came back from Simon Brown let that one in. That was a good night.
The Casper.
It was just after getting emptied at the Scottish Cup, I think, on the weekend at Dundee United, and then we went to Tiny on the Wednesday night. That was good.
We had the one where Ireland scored the penalty 1-0. Casper Ghost.
Yeah.
Derby. That was one where we went with no hope because you looked at that team and we were.
Yeah.
The team was bare bones that night.
Yeah.
And we got a result.
So fingers crossed. That's what I'm saying. That's the only thing I'm clinging on to.
Aye. Okay, right. Well, let's get your predictions and score predictions, and then we'll wrap up for the night because it doesn't look like we've signed anybody while we've been recording. So that's
it's just the Norwegian boy that's coming up in the telly.
We're not going to sign anybody, are we? That's us.
Nah, it's too late now.
It was a Sunday night, that game, by the way.
Sunday night, was it?
I thought it was a Sunday after a sort of late kick-off on a Sunday or a 4 o'clock.
It must have been, because I remember it being dark.
It was December, because
December the 2nd.
They got emptied. Because they started the cup early that year. They got emptied in the same year they won it. Like the holders and everything. Yeah, that's right. I knew it was
December the 2nd. It was.
Yeah.
I'll go with the 3-1 for mine, by the way. That was a great night as well.
Aye, brilliant. All the singing in the East Stand was tremendous.
Early goal settled everybody down, didn't it? And then just managed
coming skiing at the cup lifting celebration and everything. It was just everything about that night was quality.
The daft celebration and that.
The incredible hope.
And then even Shinny got on the score sheet.
Aye.
That was when they had that shite keeper, Hamilton, that couldn't save anything.
Aye. Could they? Nice change.
They
Have a crap keeper in those.
Right, love to go to pull a hamstring on the night.
Outstanding. Aye, if he could just play himself a Syrian before the game. Jamie, what's the score going to be?
I could never predict a Hearts win, so I'm going to say a 1-0 for Hibs.
Clean sheet.
And I'm going to take a penalty against them in the 89th minute.
I think I could.
Who's taking penalties?
I'm going to say, I don't know who it is, but I'm going to say Nisbet's going to redeem himself after that fucking Scottish Cup semi-final one.
Aye. Colin, score prediction for you?
I'm going to go 2-1 Hibs because I'm not predicting a defeat and I can't predict a clean sheet either. So, and because they'll get a penalty.
I will, probably.
So.
Or Torches will get sent off.
Well, aye.
Even to see with some of the tackles he was receiving on Saturday and getting absolutely nothing for it was ridiculous.
Aye, the boy done him early on, but there was one he makes. I sound like I'm hammering the boy at the time, but the boy cut him inside and he started hitting his face in that rather than because he thought, "Fuck, he's done me." And you just think that's how he did. He got tackled. He's ran to the ref and he's given it. That's two. The referees didn't like you, son. You need to stop doing that shit.
They didn't like him. He's been hounded out of the game in Scotland.
No have any fans.
He needs to play the game. He needs to play the game. He needs to be a bit more grown up about it. I think you're just winding him up even more. So, who is the ref tomorrow? I did see it.
It'll not be Kevin Clancy anyway.
No. Is it Don Robertson? I think is it Don Robertson?
Might be.
That rings a bell.
Hibs have
always shite with each other
Craig
anyway.
Sampson. That's news that's just come through. Craig Sampson's left the club.
Aye, because we've got a goalkeeping coach in like that. Aye. I read that in the magazine thing that came out the weekend. Did you get it? The HQ thing?
No, I know what you're talking about.
It's quite good. It was quite good. Much better than a programme. Like I know it's only once a quarter, and I know folk collect programmes because they're collectors and that, but big step up quality for what the programme was. Well, certainly the online one we got last year, and the programme the seasons before that, they were just adverts. Just pamphlets. A couple of articles in it, but littered with spelling mistakes and that usually as well. Whereas this actually looked professional, nice. It was printed on nice paper, decent articles that weren't too long.
So did you get a solid version of it? Did you get a paper version? Are they doing them online as well, or just is it only in
I think you can order it online, but they'll post it out to you. I think you know what I mean. It's actual. So I think
it's a £5,
physical. Aye. The programme is $3.50 and it's only once a quarter it comes out. It was pretty decent, really. I thought.
Did you get a mention in it? Have they covered Longbangers in it?
No, that's the next one, I think. They've got interviews and that. But it was decent. I can't remember what I was telling you about that for. But how did I go into that? There was a reason. Doesn't matter.
Aye.
Text in 80295 if you can.
Text if you got this far. Right, we're going to wrap up for the night. We'll probably come up with quick bang tomorrow night. Whether we get to it tomorrow night. If you've not had a chance to listen, go and have a listen to Heatbangers. Last night we had Sam Delaney from Off the Top Flight Time Machine and the Reset podcast. Join us. Excellent episode. Loads of good things said about it so far for folk who have tuned in. So please go and have a wee listen. And we will have short bangers at some point this week as well, so get your questions in. Until then, Colin, Jamie, thanks for coming on. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water, no.